Imagine a jet that didn't care about breaking speed records and wasn't meant to shine on flashy recruiting posters. But every single time, yes, every time, it showed up with bombs on target and enough fuel to make it home. That was the A-7 Corsair II. No afterburner show-off, no Mach 2 ego, just a rugged, purpose-built attack aircraft designed for the hardest and least glamorous job in modern warfare: hit the target accurately and bring the pilot back alive. The A-7 was born in the 1960s as a light carrier-based strike aircraft, and it quickly became one of the most efficient attack platforms ever used by the US Navy and later the US Air Force. At a time when everyone was obsessed with speed, the A-7 Corsair II chose a different path: precision, endurance, and striking power. It fought in Vietnam, patrolled the Cold War Mediterranean, and later flew missions during Desert Storm. But what made it special wasn't just where it fought, it was how it fought. With avionics far ahead of its time, including one of the first operational HUD systems ever used in a combat aircraft, the A-7 could carry more weapons than many faster jets while burning less fuel, an advantage commanders absolutely loved, even if the media never hyped it up. Today, the A-7 rarely gets the spotlight, but its fingerprints are all over modern strike aircraft design. And that's where the story really begins, with the birth of a strange-looking, rugged, but incredibly reliable war machine. The Corsair II was created out of an urgent need and frustration, something that often leads to great engineering. In the early 1960s, the US Navy needed a replacement for the Skyhawk: longer range, heavier payload, better accuracy, and full carrier capability. Instead of designing from scratch, Ling Temco Vought borrowed the DNA of the Crusader, widening the wings and reducing speed, making landing safer and giving the aircraft more loiter time over the battlefield. It was powered by an Allison turbofan, focusing not on raw thrust, but fuel efficiency and operational performance. And it became the first US combat aircraft to feature an integrated head-up display. The A-7 wasn't built to look glamorous, it was built to do the job perfectly. And that's exactly why it reached combat so quickly. Specs usually aren't exciting, but with the A-7 Corsair, the numbers explain why it hit far above its weight. At its core was the Allison turbofan, producing around 65 kilonewtons of thrust. Not impressive on paper until you realize how fuel efficient it was. That efficiency gave the A-7 excellent range, long time on station, and enough fuel to return safely even after extended missions. The advanced A-7E variant had a length of 14.05 meters, a wingspan of 11.8 meters, a maximum takeoff weight of around 19,050 kilograms, and a top speed of about 1,110 kilometers per hour. With an external payload of up to 6,800 kilograms and a combat radius of around 965 kilometers, the A-7 was often deadlier and more practical than larger, faster aircraft.
The Corsair II looked the same from the outside, but each variant had its own personality, each one built to solve a real problem. The early A-7A was reliable, but underpowered during heavy carrier takeoffs. The A-7B fixed that with a stronger engine and improved confidence at launch. Then the Air Force stepped in with the A-7D, equipped with the Vulcan cannon, upgraded avionics, and compatibility with USAF weapons. Even skeptical pilots quickly respected its accuracy and toughness. The most refined Navy version, the A-7E, pushed things even further. Better radar, improved navigation, and smart weapon capability. By the end of its career, it was dropping laser-guided bombs with surprising precision. The two-seat A-7K served as a trainer, mostly for the Air National Guard. Not exciting, but absolutely essential. From Vietnam to the Persian Gulf, the A-7 proved that real reputations aren't built at air shows, they're built in dangerous missions where effectiveness matters more than hype. When the Corsair II began leaving US service, it didn't disappear, it simply changed countries. For many American allies, the A-7 wasn't a second-hand aircraft, it was a serious upgrade. And the reasons were the same: long range, heavy payload, and systems that were ahead of their time. Greece became its most dedicated operator. The Hellenic Air Force flew the A-7H and later A-7E for decades, using them as their primary strike aircraft over the Aegean. Greek pilots loved it because it could carry heavy weapons over long distances, navigate difficult maritime terrain, and in exercises it became famous for showing up uninvited on target, low, precise, and frustratingly hard to intercept. Portugal operated the A-7P, a modified NATO-compatible version. It served into the 1990s and gave Portugal real strike capability without the cost and maintenance of modern supersonic jets. Thailand flew ex-US Navy A-7Es mainly for coastal defense and ground attack. In that climate, reliability mattered more than speed, and the Corsair delivered. Some A-7s stayed operational into the early 2010s, nearly 50 years after its first flight. That kind of lifespan isn't luck, it's the result of strong engineering, upgrade-friendly systems, and an airframe that simply refused to quit. The Corsair II didn't just serve globally, it aged globally, and that's a rare achievement. The A-7 didn't get a dramatic farewell, no victory lap, no legendary retirement ceremony, but its legacy was deeper. It changed how attack aircraft were judged. Before the A-7, strike aircraft were often measured by speed and raw performance. After the Corsair II, the focus shifted to something smarter: accuracy, efficiency, and systems integration. The A-7 proved in combat that avionics could matter as much as engines. Its HAD-centered strike philosophy helped shape later aircraft like the F/A-18, the A-10, and even modern multi-role fighters where sensors do just as much work as thrust. One of its most underrated contributions was cockpit design and pilot workload reduction. The A-7 was built to keep the pilot focused and clear-headed during low-level attack runs. That idea, designing around human limits instead of machine ego, became standard later, but it was revolutionary in the 1960s. Among pilots, the A-7 earned a simple reputation: it has your back. It wasn't glamorous, but it was predictable, forgiving, honest. Today, surviving A-7s sit quietly in museums next to sleeker fighters, often ignored. But look closer. Many modern strike doctrines, precision over spectacle, endurance over speed, are echoes of what the A-7 normalized decades ago. It didn't chase the future, it defined a practical version of it. And that's exactly why the A-7 Corsair II still matters. Thank you so much for staying with us until the end of this video. Don't forget to leave a comment and share your thoughts with us. Make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this.